Hey everybody, I'm here for this week's math lesson. In this week's lesson, we're going to be using our My Math book just as if we do in class. So at any time that you need to pause this lesson to do the work along with me or to get your book, at any time just pause and get what you need. So one thing we're going to need is our My Math book. So I'm going to start our presentation. During this lesson, you need to follow me as I explain what you need to do for this lesson. Do the problems in your My Math workbook as I do them on the presentation. Work on the homework pages for your assignment. You'll get those and you'll do those on your own after I have gone over this. Then have your parents take a picture of both pages, that's your homework pages, and turn in by Friday. You've got till Friday to get this done, okay? So I'm going to try to go where we need to go. We need to go to page 425 in your My Math book, and it will look like this. We're looking for mentally subtract 10 or 100. So if you need to pause to get there, go ahead and pause and then hit play again. I'm going to continue on, so at any time you need to stop, you can pause at any time. This is lesson 3, and our essential question in this lesson is, how can I subtract 3-digit numbers? Okay, we need to turn now to page 426, and I'm going to play the See and Show, and we'll listen to what they are saying, and I will point as they were going through, and you can read it along in your book as well. Okay, let me see if I've got my sound going.
Mentally subtract 100. 422 minus 100 equals blank. Helpful hint. You know that 4 minus 1 equals 3. 422 minus 100 equals 322. Mentally subtract 10. 460 minus 10 equals blank. You know that 6 minus 1 equals 5. 460 minus 10 equals 450. For numbers 1 through 8, subtract. Talk math. Tell how to mentally subtract 10 or 100.
Okay, so sorry that I didn't get the sound going, but what we're looking at to subtract 100 or 10, think of facts, like our math facts, like we're doing with Mad Math Minutes. When we have zeros, we know those numbers stay the same. And when we're looking at just subtracting the 1 in the hundreds place, that's just like thinking of 4 minus 1. If we're doing it in the tens place, everything stays the same. And we're just thinking of 6 minus 1 in the tens place. So we can think of 6 minus 1 equals 5. Now, again, we need to make sure we follow the process with subtraction, just like we did with addition, always starting in the ones place, tens place, then going to the hundreds place. This will only help you for later on when we have to do regrouping. So practice it now, makes it better for later on. So I'm going to jump over to showing this. We're going to look at 329 minus 100. We're going to do this one together. So I've got modeled 329. If I go back to here, we're supposed to subtract 100. So I'm going to X out 100. Still learning how to use these manipulatives. So I'm going to say that one goes away. And so that leaves me with 200. I still have the 20, and I still have the 9 ones. So if we go back, 329 minus 100, and we noticed that 9 minus 0, we still had 9 in our ones. There's where you do it with me. So in your workbook, please do this with me. 2 minus 0 still gives us 2. We still had 2 tens. And 3 minus 1, we were left with 2. So 329 minus 100 is 229. Please excuse my handwriting. I'm using a mouse to write with, and it's just not the easiest thing in the world. So I'm going to try my best. Maybe I'll get better as we go. So now let's look at 820 minus 10. This time I'm not going to go to the manipulatives. We're just going to follow through looking at ones, tens, and hundreds. When we have 0 minus 0, remember that stays the same. 2 minus 1, here's where we're making the change. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 8 minus, if there's nothing there, that's like a 0. 8. 820 minus 10 equals 810. The tens place changed here, whereas over here, our hundreds place changed. Now let's look at 363 minus 100. Starting in ones, 3 minus 0 is 3. 6 minus 0 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. Therefore, 363 minus 100 is 263. Here we go with number 4 on subtracting 10 again. So let's start in our ones. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 1, there's where the change takes place, is 6. And 6 minus nothing is like 6 minus 0, which is 6. So 678 minus 10 equals 668. Here we go with the subtracting 10 again. 4 minus 0 is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. 7 minus nothing is 7. 724 minus 10 is 714. Here's 164 minus 10. 4 minus 0 remains the same. 6 minus 1, there's where we're making the change, is 5. And 1 minus nothing is like 1 minus 0. So 164 minus 10 is 154. Now, here we have them written like this. If you wish, you can write it over to the side and get the answer like this. Write it where it's been horizontally, do it vertically. Or we could just focus on looking at where we're making the change. And it's in the hundreds place. So thinking of 9 minus 1, that's 8. And then what's in the hundreds place remains the same. So 900 minus 100 gives us a remainder of 800 left. Now let's look at this one, 743 minus 10. There's no hundreds in this one, so we know the hundreds is going to stay the same. But we have 4 and we have 1 in the tens place. So 4 minus 1 is 3, and 3 minus 0 is 3. So here we go. 700 remains the same. 4 minus 10 in the tens place, we came up with 3. And then 3 minus 0 is 3. So 743 minus 10 gave us 733. So tell how to mentally subtract 10 or 100. What you're doing is you're looking at the math facts. And if you're looking at the hundreds, you're just taking 1 away from the hundreds place. If it's in the tens place, you're taking 1 away from the number that you have in your tens place. That's only the difference. You're looking, make sure you know you're looking at the right place value when you're subtracting. 1 from the 10 or 1 from the hundreds. Now usually, a lot of us are doing on my own and problem solving. We're going to skip that. I need everyone to turn to page 429. It says My Homework at the top. I want everyone to circle the number 429, then turn your page and circle 430. These are your homework pages for this lesson. If you'll look at it, it goes back over what we just did, a review of us subtracting 100 or 10. It's got practice problems on 429. Then it's got some more practice problems, but you have to be very careful here. They're doing it a little bit differently. Here, they're giving you the beginning number and the ending number, and you have to decide, are you subtracting 10 or are you subtracting 100? And you're going to put either the 10 or 100 depending on where the numbers are changing. Here you have word problems. Don't forget the circling and underlining. And then you have this space. Please show your work by doing a number problem similar to this and label your answer. And here, this is where you color in the correct answer for this problem. So, we've done the problems in our My Math workbook as we were doing them in the presentation. Now it's up to you to do the rest of this. You're going to work on the homework pages for your assignment. That's all you have, those 2 pages. Once you're done, have your parents take a picture of both pages and just turn it in by Friday. You don't have to finish it today. You can if you want to. It's up to you. It's just due by Friday. We're still trying to gauge and figure out how much we can do in 1 week's time. It's all new to us. So that's what we're doing with this. So let's practice that subtraction of 10s and 100s in 3-digit numbers so that we get ready for our next step in subtraction. Have a good week, and I miss every single one of you and truly wish we were there at school together, but I'm glad we're able to do our part to keep us all safe. Bye, and see you later.